Good morning, afternoon, or evening, ladies and gentlemen, Allincrypto here, and welcome back, guys, on this smashing Sunday for a jam-packed daily market update. If you are new around here and finding yourself on my channel for the first time today, don't forget to check out that subscribe button because we drop an update just like this one around 1 p.m. UK time every single day to help you guys stay up to date with the latest and greatest things happening in the crypto space, but also the broader markets. That's exactly what we're going to be doing in this video. We are predominantly going to be focusing on the crypto space. We will be taking a look economically at some of the data that we have in the week ahead. It's quite a lackluster week for data. Bitcoin's kind of converging around price discovery. We will be looking at that. Where I want to start the video, though, is actually with a clip of Larry Fink, who is the CEO of the largest hedge fund in the world, actually talking about Bitcoin, and what he says, for somebody like myself who has been in the crypto space for a long time, is nothing short of shocking. Not only does he call Bitcoin something phenomenal, but he also actually brings into question the proliferation due to deficits of governments like the United States and why Bitcoin is going to succeed. Now, of course, he's going to be slightly biased as someone who's now adding, we got news last week that they're going to be adding their own Bitcoin ETFs, spot ETFs, and other ETFs to their funds, their own personal funds. So he has got a kind of bias in regards to potentially being bullish on Bitcoin. However, what he says is quite frankly shocking, and I absolutely want to share that with each and every one of you. A little bit of housekeeping. We are now sold out in regards to the Patreon. We're going to figure out where we want to go moving forwards. You know, we have a group of people that are all doing exceptionally well, that have been following, you know, along with my portfolio and doing very well as a result of it. You know, in our portfolio, we have coins 3, 4, 500% up. And I don't think that there's really anybody that's down on their positions. You know, we made a great call getting back into the markets on January 2023, and we've done very well since then, and we've got lots of plays, certainly in the deep in sector, that are doing phenomenally. We will be opening that back up at some point, potentially facilitating another tier with different benefits to it, so do stay tuned for that. I know there's a lot of people out there that want to join the Patreon. Right now, guys, we are kind of sold out for the time being, because we don't want things to kind of grow too fast and not be able to nurture the people that we have in the group. I'm somebody that really cares about people and them doing well in the crypto space, as I believe that financial freedom can help all of us, helping yourself out. This is a world where finance is central, and understanding the great game and how to play that game, I think, is very important. So just a quick announcement on that front. Guys, let's dive straight into this shocking video. And I use the word shocking truly in this sense, in regards to what Larry Fink actually has came out and said about Bitcoin and the kind of situation that's going on right now with the proliferation and governments. Let's dive straight into that.
There's a lot of merit to it. There's a lot of opportunity. It is a great store, and this is where you could debate. Is it a good store?
But you know how it's made. A bunch of computers figure out
But there's
problems.
but the issue is if people believe that it can be an asset that can be cross-border. Right. And let's be clear, if you're in a country where you're fearful of your government, and maybe this is one of the reasons why China has banned it. Mm-hmm. If you're in a government where if you're in a country where you're fearful of your future, fearful of your government, or you're frightened that your government is devaluing its currency by too much deficits.
Like us.
I'm not going to go there.
The little elephant in the room here.
Yeah. You could say this is a great potential long-term store of value. And as I said, it's like digital gold. And I believe...
But you still can't buy a slice of pizza with it. Isn't that kind of odd that we're...
But you can't buy a price of pizza with palladium or gold.
No, but there you can do stuff with them. I can get stuff with... I mean, people use gold for stuff, right?
But you could buy and sell your Bitcoin, no different than gold. So it is very...
What is it? But gold is put in like...
Jewelry.
And iPhones, I think there's in some electronics, there's gold.
It's more silver and nickel.
But you see what I'm saying? There are practical uses. Bitcoin, it's literally a ledger. Right?
It is a ledger, but it's an international ledger. It's cross-border. It's bigger than any government.
I agree with you. It would have blown up, I believe, in FTX, and it didn't after FTX.
Quite frankly, shocking. It's music to my ears. Larry Fink is becoming more and more of like a Bitcoin believer, which is interesting that he's becoming that as the largest hedge fund manager in the world. this space has progressed. I think I always knew it would get to this point, but it's kind of snowballed a lot faster than I thought it would. And I think a large part of that has to do with, like you said, the devaluation of countries' currencies through their central bank proliferation. And actually, this is going to get a lot more intense. We did a video yesterday morning, where we looked at who's going to buy the debt. I believe that the bond market, the treasury market, more importantly, in the long-dated treasury market, is signaling to me that the central bank, the Fed, is actually going to step in the United States and start buying up the bonds, because who's going to do that? They can't have the bond market fall, otherwise it's a complete collapse of the entire system. Right now, the Treasury is funding itself after upping the debt ceiling with the reverse repo, which has gone from $2.4 trillion all the way down to 400 billion. Sorry. That's going to be getting to zero very soon. How do they then fund the bond market? Who steps in? And I think the volume that we're seeing, and we're going to go over to this very, very quickly. I don't want to spend too much time on this, guys. Some people kind of zone out when I start talking about stuff like this, but it is integral and important in regards to understanding the markets. This is the TLT, which is the 20-year plus dated treasuries. And look at the volume we've got here. This volume is indicating at a time when we have a bullish divergence to me that this market's about to get a bid. The question is who buy. It's not going to be retail. It might be indirectly banks through the central bank and their liquidity. The Fed's going to up their balance sheet. This is what's going to see our dollar down theory play out, which is going to have in turn effect on the risk markets. Bitcoin is going to be the highest beta of that. It's also in an uptrend against the SPY, the NASDAQ, and gold, which we all expect to do very well, and they will do well in a proliferation environment. And you have Larry Fink himself coming out and highlighting this. What a time to be alive. What a time to be following Allincrypto as well at the kind of helm of this and giving you guys on a daily basis this 360 view of things that has been nothing short of right thus far. Let's dive over to Bitcoin, and then we'll finish things off in regards to the week ahead. So you know the story with Bitcoin, you know where we've come from, you know where we've been, and you know where we're going. 150k is a short-term target. Would I like to see some sort of a pullback here prolonged and some sort of a cup and handle form? I don't think it'll be an inverse head and shoulders like the previous two that we've had. Potentially. However, when you look at prior breakings of all-time highs in this kind of a market, you can see you only really stall around it before you then continue. You get big wicks coming in. Seeing a very similar thing today, actually, and I think you're probably just going to push straight through this given all the demand from the ETFs. There's just simply not enough Bitcoin for people to buy, and all markets are a supply and demand equation. When there's more demand than there is supply, the price goes up, and vice versa. And this is what we're seeing for Bitcoin right now, and this is all happening pre-halving. This is the first time that Bitcoin has gone on and put in a new all-time high pre-halving. This cycle is likely going to see the crypto space go to the tens of trillions. We are going to get an Ethereum ETF. We are getting signaled that from ETH BTC, ETH dominance. It's just an amazing, amazing time to be in the crypto space. And I think if you've been following the channel, you've done well so far. I would say there's probably about 70% of this bull market still to come. Altcoins are really to come into their own. Some of the altcoins that we have, like Fetch, we don't speak about Fetch on the channel, but that's one I kind of reserve for the Patreons, has done very unbelievably well. And we've got other smaller plays still in the tens of millions market cap that are doing spectacularly. So it's positive all around. We'll see what the new week brings. In regards to what's going to be happening in the new week from an economic point of view, it's very lackluster in terms of data. Okay, so Monday there's nothing. Tuesday you've got like UK employments. You've got US CPI, which is going to be the big one. Because they're essentially looking at a slight rise to 3.1, which is going to be interesting. So we'll see if that number comes out. I am not convinced that it's going to be higher. I think it could be slightly lower, although the Fed has, and Jerome Powell came out on Thursday and sort of testified that the Fed are where they want to be. We do think rates are still expecting to come down. You've got things like UK GDP, which is going to be interesting. You've got US initial jobless claims. It wasn't a great week of data last week for the United States, but we'll see what this week brings. But guys, everything is going perfectly. Everything is going absolutely swimmingly. Almost too good to be true. You kind of want to question yourself when things are going that well, but maybe it's just because of how we're looking at things technically and just how well things are being followed. Not just for crypto, for the stock market, for precious metals, for the dollar, for the Forex market, for the bond markets, even for housing we're now bullish on. All of these things are indicating liquidity. We think that liquidity comes from the Fed. We think the bond market is signaling that. at a time when you've got this fundamental bullish narrative for Bitcoin. You've got the likes of Larry Fink. I can't get over that clip, guys. For me, it's kind of like it was a pipe dream at one point. You know, I originally got cottoned onto this space in 2012 when you had the whole Ross thing going on. We'll just call it that. And then got into it in 2016 as an investor, 2017. Been through a couple of cycles now, and we're at this kind of stage where this space is finally going to become and what I've always thought it was going to be, and that is a asset class. And there's going to be trillions that get unlocked as a result of that. And we see the unlocking of that with ETFs. First Bitcoin, then Ethereum, then probably I reckon Solana will be one of the first to get an ETF given its kind of status. And then we'll see many more. We'll see baskets of, you know, it's going to be a good time all around. Crypto is going to find its way, and it still hasn't, or it's nowhere near that really, into everyone's portfolios. And that is trillions of dollars that we're talking about. Guys, that's really all I've got for you on this smashing Sunday. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Do stay tuned for the Patreon. We will be opening potentially another tier up, or perhaps extending the tier. We're still figuring out what we want to do, but there will become spots available. We want as many people as we can possibly have in the Patreon that we can help. And ultimately, yeah, I'm wishing you all a wonderful weekend, and I'll catch you all in this evening's video. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next one.